So here are the 50 biggest misconceptions about geography. When it comes to geographical facts, there are many discussions and doubts. Today we are going to clear up those doubts. In this video, we're clearing up 50 geography facts that most people get wrong. Now, before the video starts, I would like to mention that these facts are based on what most people think. So I know returning viewers probably do know these facts. Now, let's begin. The first one is that Great Britain and the United Kingdom are not the same. Yes guys, some people still think it is. Just like Holland and the Netherlands. Despite popular belief that the Netherlands and Holland are the same, it's not true. The Netherlands is divided into 12 provinces, of which 2 are called North and South Holland. So next time you're going to Amsterdam, you're going to Amsterdam inside North Holland, which is in the Netherlands. Another fact about the Netherlands is that there are more places besides Amsterdam. Yes, really. The Statue of Liberty is in New York, is not part of New York. Geographically, it is on the New Jersey side of the state boundary, and is even on the New Jersey Register of the Historic Places. The capital of the United Arab Emirates is not Dubai, it's Abu Dhabi. The capital of Turkey is not Istanbul, it's Ankara. The capital of Brazil is not Rio de Janeiro, it's Brasilia. And the capital of Canada is not Toronto, it's Ottawa. Now the next fact was a misconception made by me in another video. Florida is the southernmost state of the United States. It's actually Hawaii, which is further south than any other state. Puerto Rico is an island in the Caribbean Sea and is not a country on its own. It's a territory of the United States. Just like Bali is an island in a province of Indonesia and not a country on its own. Now, on most maps, Greenland is 3 or 4 times smaller than Africa, while in reality it's closer to 14 times smaller. On some maps, and I must say shockingly, many maps, Greenland is even almost as big as Africa. Texas is not the largest state in the United States, it's Alaska, with a size of 1.72 million square kilometers, over twice as large as Texas. Many people assume that there is one time zone on Antarctica, while in fact there are actually 9 time zones. According to the UN, there are 44 countries in Europe, but counting every country that's situated for even a small part in Europe, there are 50 countries including Turkey, Cyprus, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia, and Kosovo, which is recognized as a country by 98 UN member states. The World Health Organization also counts Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan as Europe, meaning Europe has 54 countries. One assumption of people is that penguins live in the North Pole, but they actually don't. The furthest the penguins go north is Peru, so they don't come close near Santa as many would like to think. Any images of penguins and polar bears hanging together are, once again, bogus. Polar bears live only in the North Pole, and so they would never meet unless it's in a zoo. Did you know Colombia is almost twice the size of France? The size of Colombia is 1.14 million square kilometers, and that of France is 644,000 square kilometers. Most people think Colombia is small, but that's probably because it's just next to Brazil. The Mississippi River is the longest river in the United States, is an assumption made by many. It runs through 10 states. There is, however, a river 138 miles larger, which is the Missouri River. Just like the Nile is not the largest, it's the Amazon River. Did you know that not everyone in the world agrees with there being 7 continents in the world? A more typical division in Latin America is 5 continents, with America combined and Antarctica removed. Now, the United States borders more than just Mexico and Canada. On the map, it looks like it only borders these 2, but in reality, part of the country is next to the Bahamas, Cuba, and Russia. If you count overseas borders, they do have more than Mexico and Canada. Between the United States and Canada border, you don't always need a passport to cross if you're taking the Detroit-Windsor border tunnel, which connects Detroit, Michigan to Windsor, Ontario. Now, most of you will probably know this, but despite laying next to Morocco, the Canary Islands are politically seen part of Spain. Although deserts are known to be dry and sandy, it can actually snow, and I'm not talking about Antarctica, which is also a desert. But in the Sahara and the Gobi, frost is fairly normal, and snow is not excluded. Most people associate Australia with hot, dry weather. However, the Australian Alps get on average more inches of snow than the famed Swiss Alps. Now, most regions on Earth receive some rain. The dry valleys of Antarctica, on the other hand, receives no rain or snow. They haven't had rain in about 2 million years. A fact most people get wrong, including myself, is that Africa is the largest continent in the world, while it is actually Asia. Africa has a size of around 30 million square kilometers, while that of Asia sits around 44 million, or 30% of the world's land area. Now, at the end of the 19th century, every country in Africa was under European rule. Or was it not? While most of the continent fell to the terrors of colonization, Ethiopia was actually able to stave off lasting European rule. Respect to Ethiopia. Did you know that New Zealand is not as close as to Australia as many think? The distance between the two is around 2,000 kilometers. Fun fact is that London in the United Kingdom is actually closer to Russia than New Zealand to Australia. The next misconception is created by the cartoon movies about Madagascar. While watching as a kid, you would probably never think about the geography, but you do probably still think as Madagascar to be a wild land with no humans. However, it has roads and cities and everything you can expect from a place with people. We all know that Russia produces the most oxygen, but most of the people don't know that oceans account for half of the oxygen we breathe in. So it doesn't all come from trees. The Maldives are believed to be a beautiful piece of nature, and it is. However, not all the islands are nature, since some islands are human-made as precaution for climate change. The US dollar isn't only used in the United States. There are other examples like Ecuador. Contrary to popular belief, English is not the most widely spoken language. It's Mandarin Chinese, which has 1.1 billion native speakers. English has only 527 million. Many people think the Earth is a perfect sphere. The Earth, however, is not perfectly round, but it is an irregularly shaped ellipsoid. While I was searching for information, I encountered multiple websites saying there are many people who think Canada is the largest country. Now guys, be completely honest with me, but is there anyone who still thinks it is? Comment if you thought Canada was the largest. We won't laugh. Mexico is many times believed to be the south of the United States. Now it shares the south border, of course, but did you know there are 11 US states that are more south than the northernmost point of Mexico? So is it really south? Most people think of Egypt as an African country. It is, but it's also for a part in Asia. Here's the small part that's in Asia. Afghanistan and Pakistan, although being believed to be in the Middle East, are not in the Middle East. The easternmost country is Iran. The next one is about the Dead Sea, which is often referred to as a sea, which seems logical since it's also in the name. It's, however, a saltwater lake. If it was a sea, it would have been a sea below sea level. Yeah, that's not possible. Now, it is commonly considered that landlocked countries do not have access to the sea. Some landlocked countries, such as Bolivia and Paraguay, do, however, have navigable rivers and ports on international waterways. On the map, Russia is larger than Africa, while Russia actually has a size of around 17 million square kilometers, while that of Africa, as previously discussed, is 33 million. Still, while it's 2 times larger, literally all world maps think otherwise. Basel, Geneva, and Zurich are not the capital of Switzerland, it's Bern. The capital of Australia is not Sydney, it's Canberra. China is a massive country with several time zones. The entire country, however, adheres to a single time zone. This means that in some parts at 8 AM it's light, while at some parts it's still very dark. Brazil is larger than the continental United States. Alaska is just too big. Africa is not the driest continent. It's actually Antarctica, since it's counted as a desert, and a desert means a dry place. Norway has the second longest coastline behind Canada. Many people assume it's the USA, China, or Russia. Norway, its coastline is 101,000 kilometers. I earlier said English is not the most spoken, but would you believe me if I said it's not the second too? In fact, Spain is the second most spoken language. Did you know Florida is not the closest state to Africa? It's Maine, which is 1,000 miles closer. The next one is about the pyramids of Giza, which are believed to be in the middle of the desert, but are actually just next to Cairo, and it's relatively easier to visit them than many people think. And already the last fact of this video. The largest pyramid looking at volume is not in Egypt. In fact, it's in Mexico. Great Pyramid of Cholula. It stands 177 feet and it covers 45 acres. So these were the 50 geography facts most people get wrong. Did you know them all, or were you surprised by some facts? Leave a comment down below if you were actually surprised by some facts, and don't forget to subscribe while you're on your way there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next of Earth Basics.